You as a business owner have to be a cheerleader on your team. I experienced this here recently with my team, and I realized that I wasn't cheering them on. I was asking them to do different tasks, and that was pretty much it. I wasn't focused on how do they feel, what was going on in their personal lives, anything like that. And I started to see a decline in their performance. And when I finally took the time to take a moment and realize I hadn't been cheering them on, I hadn't been encouraging them with the tasks that they were doing. In particular, one of the people on my team, they are working on a training academy for virtual assistants, which, by the way, so excited that has finally launched for us. But it wasn't without some cheerleading, so to speak. And you as a business owner have to be a cheerleader. And why is that? Because you have the vision, you know where you're going, and you put people on your team for a reason. And all of us, it doesn't matter if we're the business owner, we're the most self-motivated person, or we're just somebody that's just going to get the job done. We need that encouragement along the way. And my person on the team that's doing the VA training academy, they were really kind of down on themselves. And it wasn't because of my leadership, although it probably didn't help because I kept asking questions about where we were at with the launch and everything like that. But there was personal stuff going on. And finally, we sat down and had a one-on-one, and we talked through what was going on. And I had to give him encouragement because he felt like he wasn't ready for it. And now one of the things with the training academy is that it's going to be in English. And if you don't know, we help business owners get virtual assistants that are based out of the Philippines. So their first language is not English. So therefore, they're not that comfortable with it. I mean, I know for me, I've tried to speak a little bit of German and a little bit of Spanish, and I'm not comfortable trying to do it because I know I'm not good at it, and they're definitely more fluent than I will ever be, or at least for now, am in German or Spanish. But he was afraid to do the training in English, and he kind of kept coming up with these excuses, but I talked through it with him and talked about the importance of doing it in English. But more important than that, I encouraged him that he was the person to do this. The reason why I gave him the task of creating this training academy for our business, Refined VA, was because I believed in him. I believed he was the one to do that. Not to mention when we had some previous one-on-ones, one of the things that he wanted to do, he talked about outside of the business, was actually creating a training academy, first-time virtual assistants. And I was already going towards that path when it came to building up the business and having that training academy. We weren't there quite yet, but when he told me that, I realized this is the guy that can do that. I knew that he could be that person. And so there was all this pressure kind of coming down on him with the timeline, with the personal life going on, and he was not performing to the level that he could because he wasn't encouraged. And so I had to encourage him. I had to cheer him on and reassure him that he was the person for this job. He was the person that was capable of doing that. And he literally told him the words that I picked you because I knew that you could do it. If I didn't think that you could do it, I wouldn't have put you in that spot. And I did have to give him a little bit of tough love as well and talk about the fact that his performance in the moment wasn't acceptable, but he had past performance that was really good. If he would have been a brand new hire, honestly, probably would have gotten rid of him. And I told him that. But the thing was, I was giving him some tough love there, but I also gave him a ton of encouragement. And as a business owner, as a leader in your organization, you have to be able to do both of those. You have to set the line, you have to set the standard, and you also have to encourage so that way your team will know what the standard is, so that your team will continue to go. And you have people on your team that just need that encouragement. So my message here for you today is to encourage your team more. I'm guilty of that I miss out on encouraging different parts of my team, different members on my team, and I need to be better about that. And I realized that with this team member in particular. Now, a lot of it had to do with outside of the business, but that seeps in. We're all human. And so that's why you as the business owner have to continue to encourage your team, because they cannot perform if they are not at the top of their game. And you as the business owner, that is on you to make sure that they are continued to be encouraged, even if it's as simple as just saying, you are in the position you're in right now because I believe you can do that. Something that simple will go such a long way with your team. So think about somebody on your team today. Are they maybe down? Maybe they're not performing quite as well as maybe they have in the past. Maybe it's time to have a one-on-one with them and just encourage them. Let them be able to talk and vent a little bit, and then give that reassurance that they are doing the right things and where they need to go if maybe they're not doing that. But overall, encourage them. Go do that right now.